Hello, party people. Hi, it's Randy for Thunderhorse Descendant. I'm here for Jesse James Beads today, and I'm super excited. So we are going to be working with some of the new beads from Jesse James drop from, I think, last week it was. The ones we are going to be using is called Flowers Just For You, and I'm super excited about it. I got a fun thing planned. I didn't draw it out today simply because I was just excited. I was just like, nope, we're just going to film it. It'll be good. So I'm going to use Flowers Just For You and also Vintage Vibes seed beads. And I'm super excited. So I hope you guys will come with me. We're going to make this necklace and we'll see what happens. Let's go down to the mat. Here we are on the mat, you guys. And like I said, we are using Flowers Just For You. And we're going to use Vintage Vibe seed beads to create a double strand floating necklace, which I'm super excited about. So I'm going to get these all spread out so we can take a better look at them, and then we'll start our project. All right, ladies and gents, here we are on the mat. So this one is Flowers Just For You, and here is the focal piece of this, which is going to be for our necklace. And you guys, I just had to. I was just like, yep, that's what we need. So this is super cute, and it is glass. Little glass pendant, double-sided, has some little flowers in there, and it has a nice bail on it. So this is going to be the focal piece of our necklace. I'm super excited about this. I'll show you what else is in here. I'm going to zoom you in just a smidge. And so here are some of the other cute little characters in this bunch. So we've got these really cool like flower drops. We are going to use these today, and I believe we're going to go like this. Is that not the cutest? So we got that going for us. Also in here are some cute little links. And honestly, I was like, oh, earrings. Right. Some cute little earring links there is probably what I'm going to use them for. You can use them for whatever you want. Here's some more little links. Now, the necklace we're making today is actually going to be a stringing project. And I've never made it. And I just hope that we can get it to work out. But I think it's going to turn out pretty good. These are cute. Those would be cute on these earrings. Maybe we'll do that. Super cute. Also in here, you got a few of these little links. Or I'm sorry, charms. And they have like a little floating crystal in there, and it's open. They're just different and super cute. So we have those. Now these ones as well we are going to use on our necklace today, because I just love that etched flower on there. I always love those. I especially love the orange ones. Here's some others, but just smaller. I might use those in our earrings as well so they match. Some other crystals, and I have a plan for these, so I'm not using these today. I have a separate plan for these little hearts. But are they not the cutest? So I'm saving these out for just a simple little heart necklace project. When I saw those hearts, I was like, yes. More little crystals and these little etched kind of spotted glass. I really like these. I've had them in other little mixes, and I think they're super cute. And then, just zoom out a little bit. Here we have just more little tiny crystals and all this wonderful metal, right? So we got all this metal. It's very nice, double-sided, very substantial. I've even got a few bead caps. We've got a butterfly, a couple butterflies in here. So there's really a lot to work with. There's more other smaller crystals, which we will be using those smaller crystals today as well. Oh my goodness, you guys, look at this. I have to zoom in. Look at this little tiny rondelle. It's just itty bitty spacer. Super cute. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put these little crystals in here in this little dish because I'm separating out for our project. So we said we were going to use these and these today. And I'm going to use all these little crystals and I'm going to mix those in with my seed beads. Now, as far as this metal goes, I don't know that I'm going to be using metal, but you never know. You never know. Sometimes I get going and I'm like, oh, you know, it'll be good right there, some metal. So I am just going to separate it out. Oh, am I out of little cups? Oh, here we go. Got a little leftover jar from my crystals I used last week, so I'll just put them in there. Perfect. Okay, all these little guys I'm going to put in there. You know, I might use these little teeny tiny little 4mm sparkle spacers. I'll just use those today because I think it'll look good. All right, so let's put these in here, and these ones, if we have time to make earrings, we definitely will. But for the most part, I don't think we're going to need the rest of this right now. So I'm going to put it in a cup so I don't lose track of it. Oh, I'll just put it back in its home. So you guys, you get a lot of beads in these little tiny plastic things. Like I said, I don't know who's in charge of packing these things because this was in there too. But anyway, so I'll just put those back in, and then I could even go another project on those, honestly. All right. So this is what we're working with thus far. This is our Vintage Vibes trio of the seed beads, size 11 Toho seed beads. Love these. I'm going to mix them all up, maybe. And I'm going to add in these little crystals with those. It just goes perfectly together. So let's get this party started. First things first, we are going to start out with our beading materials. I'll let you know what kind of string I'm using. I'm going to be using just 19 strand bead-along stringing wire for this project. Since we are going to be making a strung necklace. So I'm going to be using that. For this, you're going to need Crimp's beads number 1 or tube crimps number 2. It says right on here. You can always look on the front to see what you need, and it'll tell you right there. So we are going to be using this, and we're also going to be using artistic wire in 22 gauge, and this is gold. So both of these, all of these products can be found on Jesse James Beads if you are looking. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to start by taking these little parts from the Flowers for You, and we are going to just wire them up and get them ready to go. So my idea here is that this is going to be our pendant. And then this is going to be a charm that hangs. A charm that hangs. Okay. And so this is how it's kind of going to set up. So what we need to do is we need to wire wrap these guys, these ones right here, together so that they can be strung. Onto the necklace. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this 22 gauge artistic wire in gold, and I'm just going to get myself a little piece. If you had a ball head pin and you wanted to use that, you very well could. you very well could use that. So I'm just going to cut 2 little pieces here. And away we go. Okay, so I'm going to make a head pin for myself. If you have a head pin you want to use, you can. But basically, if you want to make a head pin, all you got to do is just grab this with the tippy tip of your round nose plier, go around 1. When the wire comes back and it's right where you started, that's 1, 2, 3. You are then going to pull it straight out. Oh, try to zoom out so you can see the whole thing. So when you're holding it, your hand is here. Everything should be going straight up, right? Take it off of your plier, turn it around, and then you're going to take this tail and just go back up through that little coil that you just made. Easy peasy. Pull it down. If you did not want to use your finger to do that, you can use your nylon pliers. And I'm just maneuvering my rosette down here to make sure that it's, you know, kind of sitting flat and in a way that is going to cooperate with me. So now I'm going to go in with my chain nose, and I'm just going to give this a little this little end, just make sure he's in there so it's not poking anybody. And now we are ready to string up our little flower. You guys, I want to see how this looks, but I'm almost like, I mean, it looks kind of cute actually. I was like, oh, maybe we do need to use a ball head pin there, but it actually looks pretty cute. So I'm gonna leave it, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to finish this up like I normally would. So I'm leaving myself a little smidge of space there, you can see. So when I fold my plier over, my plier is touching my top of my bead cap. Then I'm gonna take this, go over the top, bring it down so it looks like this, like a hook. Spin your plier, and then we're going to wrap this around. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and give her a snip. Give a little work harden on the loop, and then I'm going to go in and make sure this is all tightened up in there. Which it appears to be. So there is one. I'm going to go ahead and make the other one, and then we're going to start doing the stringing portion of this project. All right, here is the idea. We are going to go ahead and take our beading wire, and we're going to start building up our beading for this portion. So I am going to do a double strand, but to start out with, we're going to just start as though we were doing one necklace. I want the necklace to be about 18 to 20 inches. So I'm going to get about, 21 inches of string here, or wire. Whatever you feel comfortable with working with when you have to do your crimping and your whatnots. But I'm going to get about 21, 22 inches because I want mine to be about 18 inches. So here we are with our wire. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize these seed beads, and I'm going to do like a mix. So you don't have to do a mix, but I just want to do a mix. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a few of each of these because I don't think we're really going to need too much here. And I'm just sprinkling them in. And then this is where you can look at your seed mix and you can go, okay, do I want it to be more purple and have a darker, you know, darker mix to it, basically. So I would put these in a jar and I'm going to mix them up. But for the, we don't have a jar. So I'm going to go. And there we go. We got our mix going. So I'm just going to dump these out right here. In addition, these are already mixed up for us. Thank you, Jesse James. So what I'm going to do, though, is I am going to just kind of keep some out for the other side. Because as you know, we got to have some on the other side. As far as the crystals go, I'm not too terribly worried about how many of the little crystals. But with the bigger crystals, I kind of want them to be an even amount. So I'm just eyeballing this. You could, you know, go through and actually pick out every single one about, you know, splitting them up. But for the purpose of this, let me just go like that. And set that aside for the other side. Now we can start our actual beading. I am going to start with getting my wire ready to go here. So I'm just going to start this how I normally would. Now today I am going to use a wire guardian. So I'm going to put my wire guardian on. I like to call them horseshoes, but they are called wire guardians. Okay. So I'm going to put that on there. Now I've got a short tail and I've got a long one. Now before I do anything else, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to connect this to my lobster claw. Actually, no, I'm not. I like to put the lobster claw on last. This is going to be the other side of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put on my horseshoe. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on my crimp bead. Okay, if you're having this little struggle too where it keeps on to pop out, I can bend my wire to kind of fit in there. But also what you can do is you can just give it a little crimp with your, just a little pressure with your plier. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my crimping plier, make sure nothing is crossed, and I'm going to crimp right here. So I'm going to crimp, and then I'm going to flip, and I'm going to, there we go. So we are crimped up, and I am going to use a bead cover. Oh. Okay, now we are ready to go. So I remember when I was very first started beading, and this was always the most, for me, this was the part where I was like, oh, I gotta get it started, and what if it doesn't start right, and the whole necklace is gonna fall apart, and all that situation, you know, just trimming that little tail off. But it's really, once you get to doing it, it's really not that hard. No need to be intimidated about it. And the more you do it, the more practice you're going to get. And after last week with all that crimping we did, everybody should be good and practiced up. Right? All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put on about 4 inches, 4 to 5 inches, I would say, of just mixed up seed beads and crystals. There is no rhyme or reason to this, and like I said, you don't have to do it this way. You can make a pattern if you'd like. It's completely up to you. I am just using my wire as my needle. I am just going to do like that. And if you wanted to get out the bead spinner, you probably could. I just don't feel like I want to go and pull everything out because we're only need, just a little bit of beads, but yeah, it's up to you, whatever you want to do. So I'm just going to continue to put these on just like this. I'm going to bring them down here and just make sure that little tail wire is good to go. And it is. And that's what I'm doing. So I'm about to do about 4 or 5 inches of that. And I'm also adding in these little crystals that came with the kit or with the mix. And literally, you guys, this is all we're going to do. Okay, so I got, trying to find my little measuring tape. Let me see what I got here. Just about 5 inches. So I'm measuring from the horseshoe, the very end of the horseshoe. So I need about 1 more bead on there, 1 more seed bead. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a crystal. And you'll see why this is important as we move forward. So I'm going to put a crystal here at the end of my 5 inches of beading. So now what I can do is I am going to take my larger crystal here, and you could, you could use one of these little sparklies if you wanted to kind of cap him in. Okay, and now what I'm going to do is I'm thinking I'm going to put about 1 inch of seed beads here of the mix. It doesn't have to just be seed beads, but about 1 inch worth of beading here. And we'll see, excuse me, if that's enough space. So that's about 1 inch. And now I am going to use one of these spacers on each side. I'm going to use one of these sparkly rondelles on each side just to make sure that that loop doesn't go over the top of my seed beads. So I've got this here like that. And then we will do another inch. And we might have to do more than 1 inch on this side, but we'll see when we get to the pendant, because I don't want this to be knocking into the pendant. So as far as spacing goes, we may have to wing it. So I don't, like I said, there's still no rhyme or reason here. I'm just picking up whatever All right, so now we've got centimeters. Now we've got about 1 inch of beading. So let's put on our pendant and see and hold it up, because you know things are different when we you know, have it on. So I am going to use one of these bigger crystals here. I don't know if I want to use these big ones or if I want to use the other ones, but we'll see. I think that there's enough space, but I will also say I want to put a few seed beads underneath here so that if this were to, you know, move up or whatever, you would not see string or wire when it moves. Also, I want to make sure that my necklace is long enough because I said I want it to be about 18 inches, which means we need it to be 9 inches on one side. So here's my 0 from the Wire Guardian. And it looks like it could stand to be another inch longer. Yeah. 1.5 inches. So we need to incorporate another 1.5 inches into the necklace. But that's fine, because what we can do here is we'll just take this off. Okay. And we will go back to our little rest of our flowers for you that we put away wherever we put them. Here, there. And we'll say, oh, what other kind of little super spectacularness do you have for us? Where's another drop we could add? Because basically we can put another drop bead, do another inch, and then we'd be exactly where we need to be. So we got to just make a little decision here on the fly. I like that, actually. I like those little drops. You could even try to do, you know, maybe one of these guys. Whatever you want. If you wanted to add the smaller, oh, look at the smaller crystals would be cute too. Oh, because they match these guys. I think I got to do that. I really wanted to put more drops, but I think I have to do that. Okay, we'll do that. All right. No problems. No rules, no problems. So now we're just going to put this little guy on. We are going to add another inch of our seed bead mix. Get you down there, closer to the mat. And just another inch of the little mix we got going on here. I know you guys are probably like, oh, seed beads thrilling. But you guys, I love seed beads. I do love them. You love them too. That's why you have a whole bunch of them at your house in little jars, and they look very pretty. And this is your chance to use them. And this is where you should use them. Sometimes I like to have a whole bunch of seed beads, and then I'm like, oh, but you know, you got to be in a mood. You got to be in a mood for seed beads for real. Okay, so we got about 1 inch. I'm going to smidge you out again. Got about 1 inch now, and I am going to use the larger crystal. And like I said, I want to put probably 3 seed beads. I'm going to use all one color. I'm going to go with purple. Okay, so I've got my larger crystals so that the pendant can't move. I got these 3 so that if it does move, you don't see wire, you see beads. Now I'm going to put my pendant on. And this pendant should just go right over the top of those seed beads, no problem, which it does, but it should stop at that bead right there. You know, I could even probably get away with only using 2 seed beads, but I don't mind if it has a little, I'm about movement. Okay, so now I'm going to use the same crystal that we used here. And we've got one side complete. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump off camera. I'm going to finish this side and then I'll come back. I'm just going to do the same exact as I've done over here. Now, let me say this. I'm going to do the same exact pattern, but I'm not going to match the beads up with this mix because that's the point, is to have the mix, right? So I'm not going to do that, but I am going to do this portion. And don't go anywhere because this is going to be a double-stranded necklace. We're not done. So I'll be right back. And I'm back to the other side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put on my lobster claw clasp. So I'm going to zoom you down a little bit so you can see. And we're going to put on Crimp Bead, Wire Guardian, and then before I run this back through, I'm going to put on the lobster claw. Okay. I'm going to fit that around my wire and my wire guardian so he looks like this. And I will say I ended on some crystals up here just so I could tuck this string back down in there. So I did do that purposefully because I don't know that this will go through seed beads twice, but we shall see. That's why I just ended on these crystals. No big deal. And since there's no rhyme or reason to our seed bead mix we got going on here, okay, so once I got everything through those 2 beads, I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to pull it slowly because if you pull the wire too fast, what's going to do is it's going to coil up and then you're going to have a kind of a problem. So I'm just pulling it down gently so it's snug. And then what I'm going to do is I am actually going to, hold it up, move it around, and just make sure that there's not too much space between everything, that, these have a little room to move. Everything looks good. And then I'm going to crimp after all that is said and done. So I go in here with my crimper. I'm going to crimp 1 and 2. Check it with the pull test. Looks good. So what I'm going to do is after I got it crimped, I'm going to just come in here with my beetle and cutter, and I'm going to get a hold of this tail. Be sure you cut the right string. I don't know, you guys, how many times I've even done that. Too many to count. Get all done and then cut the wrong one. Yeah, it's not good. I'm going to add a bead cover on here because we have a bead cover on the other side. And so put that right over the top of my crimp bead. All right. So everything is looking good to go. We are going to put on a something on the end here. I was going to use an extender. So on the end, I will just put a gold. For right now, I'm just going to put a jump ring. So I'll just do that so you can see. And you guys, you could stop here. This is a perfectly respectable necklace all on its own. It's super cute. I really like it a lot. You could stop here. But, you know, your girl likes to be a little bit extra. Look how cute these are, you guys. These are so good. I really liked that we ended up in a situation where we needed to add something. I think it really helped. Okay, so this, you could stop here, have yourself a wonderful day. You know, no big deal. Or we can continue on to the second strand. And I know you're like, Randy, what? Hear me out. The second strand is not going to connect to the clasp. My idea is that the second strand is going to be floating. How are we going to make that work out? I'm not quite sure because I've never done this before. So we're about ready to figure it out. I'll tell you that much. Okay, so we're going to grab up some more wire. Now, I'm thinking that this floating strand, okay, because we got to think functionality. We don't really want too much floating up here by the neck. So really what I think we'll do is we'll start it in this bead right here. That's still even a little bit more than I'd like, but I think if we start it right here, it's going to detract. So I'm going to start in this bead right here. Okay. So remember when we made this, I was like, okay, we got about 5 inches or whatever. We're going to put a big bead there. This is why. So I'm going to get some more beading wire out. And I'm going to get, because I don't know where this project is going to take me. So I'm going to get about, what is this? Half a wingspan. Half a wingspan, about 1.5 feet, a foot and a little bit more. Because I'm also going to put this, I'm going to tie knots in this. That's my plan. I know, you're like, Randy, what is happening right now? All right, so I dropped mine on the floor. Hold on. Come here, you. Okay, so what I want to do, I now have my foot and a little bit more of string and of wire. This is still the same wire we were using, the 19 strand beading wire from Beadalon. And what I want to do is I want to start this out. So let me just move this over here. Now here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking we got to go back to that little flowers just for you pack because I just got a spectacular idea. I saw these when we were in there looking at this, these little charms, right? Okay. I'm seeing if there's different shapes or if they're all the same shape. There is 4 of them, and they are all the same shape. So, okay, we're going to use those. We're only going to use 2 probably, but I'll get 4 out just in case. You never know. Might get on a wild tear. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to take this wire and I'm going to run it through the charm and get myself a crimp bead and get this charm on the end. And try to bring it. I was going to try to bring it down more, but I already made a little thing in my wire, so I gotta do it here. Okay, so I'm going to just crimp this. Little charm on this end. I'm going to check it. All looks well. Now, you could use a bead cover on there. I think that I will, just because I used bead covers on other parts of the necklace. So, bead cover. You guys, I'm having so much fun with this. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to see if this is going to work. Okay, and put the bead cover on there. Oh, sorry. The bead cover is on. All right. Now I am going to trim this little tail off because I don't need all that. Now, I'm going to put on some beads, but here's the thing. This one that we are going to run through our entire necklace, I want it to be one color. Ooh, let's hit the camera. So I want that color to be, I don't know, probably, I mean, there's a lot of metallic going on in this necklace. I think I'm going to go with the purple. Normally, I would probably go with a metallic, but we got all this sparkle, so I'm going to go with the purple. So, I am going to put these just purple over here, but I am also going to grab up some of the purple from here. So, I'm going to put on about, I don't know. I'm going to put on some. I'm going to put on some before we start this out. Let's get this on here. All right. Okay, I got 5 on there. Let's do 6, 7. Let's try 7. Okay, I got 7 beads on there. Now, what I'm going to do is I got my necklace in here. I'm going to come in, okay, from this side, whatever side this is, the right side. I'm going to come in here on this necklace after I've got all my charms in business on there. And I'm going to string from the top of this crystal down. Just the crystal now, just the crystal, nothing more. Okay, and you're going to pull it. Let's see what we got. So I think we may have to put on a few more beads because it's sticking up, which is fine. I mean, this is dangling down. It doesn't matter that it's sticking up. But it's kind of your preference. If you don't mind that, so when you have this on your neck, you know, it's going to be on your neck. And it's going to be dangling right there. It's actually not too bad. I think you could either go more beads or less beads, depending on your personal preference. I think I'm just going to leave it like that. I thought it would bother me, but now when I hold it up like this and how it's going to hang when you have it on, I like the way this drop is like hanging down. So I'm just going to leave it. And now what we're going to do is we are going to put on some more seed beads in just the purple. So I'm just putting purple. And I'm just going to put them on until I see what they want to do. I'm not, like I said, I've never made this before, so I'm not sure where they're going to want to lay on this necklace. Okay. I think I'm going to go. So you see, I'm kind of winging this right here. Let me zoom you out. Because I want to go, I don't want to detract from this crystal. So what I think I'll do is I'll keep adding seed beads until we can get into this little crystal right here. I think that will probably be for the best. So I'm going to add what looks to be like maybe 3/4 of an inch of more of the purple beads. And I know you're like, Randy, I thought we were making a necklace tutorial. Here's the thing. We put these beads on randomly, these crystals in randomly. So yours might be in a different place. It doesn't necessarily have to go through the crystal at all. I'm just using that as a guide. I'm sure that it might go through. I just haven't tried to see if it'll go through a seed bead. So everybody's design is going to be a little different. But that's okay, because that's part of it. See, in my head, this is like a floral, fluid, this may sound silly, but like because we got flowers, you know? And this is like a vine. It's like the life force just swooshing in and out, and you just never know what it's going to do. So we can't really tell somebody, hey, you know, you need to put your crystal here and do this. So that's what we got. So let me see what I got now. So now I will say, if I added more beads, this is going to poof out more. I don't know that I necessarily want that, but I don't want it super tight to this crystal either. So I am going to add a couple more, like maybe 2 or 3 more beads. Maybe 2 beads. 3. We'll try 3. Okay. See, I think 3 might be too many. I'm going to go 2. Take 1 off. Alrighty. So now that I have the amount of beads that I want, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go down through this crystal only. Now, you don't have to just do that. You could go through more beads, but I'm just doing it like this. Come on, you. There she is. And again, like I said, you want to pull wire really slow because you don't want it to kink up. You don't want it to get curly Q business going on. So you're just pulling it slow. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. Now we move on to the next here. So for this one, I'm also kind of just seeing how my wire wants to go. So I think I'll just start adding beads here. So for this one, I think this one just wants to lay over the top of this. So you could either leave it loose to lay over the top, or I'm going to try to go in through the crystal rondelle, see if I can get it in there, and through that loop we made. There's a little tiny seed bead in my way, so I don't know if I can. Maybe. Looks like I'm through the rondelle. I'm through the loop, and now I gotta get out the next rondelle on the other side. Can't really see very good, you guys. Where there's a will, there's a way. Okay. So There we go. Okay, so I got through all of that. Now I am just guiding this wire because I don't want it to get kinked up. And slowly taking it into this flower. Okay, so I want to show you closer what I've done here. So here's where we started. Went around this crystal. And then what I did is I went into here. Now you could, I put enough beads so that it looks like there's 2 there. You could have let that go over the top, but I just thought that those sparkly rondelles were awfully pretty and I didn't want them covered up by seed beads. So now I can tell the way my string is wanting to lay is that it wants to come out this way. And so now I'll have to decide where, like, do I want to go in here into the crystal, which is not a bad idea, or, you know, do I want to go here? But I think I will go into the crystal. So I'll put enough beads to where it poofs out a little bit, you know? So that's the next step. I'm so excited, you guys. I'm really liking this necklace a lot. This is just kind of like the artist that I am, how I do my design. I know this might be driving some of you guys nuts where you're like, what are you doing? But this is just kind of how I design. I'm a design on the fly type of girl. I feel like if I think about it too much, I mean, I do think about it. I get a general outline and I get the gist of what I want to do. And I'm like, okay, is that going to work? I try to work it out in my head, but I don't learn very well that way. I've just never been, I've had to do it with my hand to learn things. I'm not very good at, you know, just reading some directions and then doing that. That's just not how I learn. It's not how a lot of people learn. So, this is just the way that works for me. So I'm sorry if I'm driving any of you crazy. I think I'm going to put one more bead there to poof it out a little more. Not too much. I don't want it to be as big as this one, but I also don't want it to be super tight to the other beading we have there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to go through top down through this crystal right here. Just the crystal, nothing more. And again, slowly, 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 slowly. I feel like when you do it that way also, it allows the wire to be the way the wire wants to be. You know what I mean? Like, which is going to work out better for your design than forcing the wire to go, like, say I want it to go on a different direction, which it might move a different direction anyway. But for right now, I just want the wire to be comfortable and have a nice time. Don't be mad. Oh. All right, now down here is a thing. I'm going to go in through this crystal right here. So I'm going to put on. Now, here's the thing I was saying. We have 4 of these. If you wanted to, you could probably add one of these onto there. But you know, honestly, what I would do is I would just wait until you get it all done. And then you could add these wherever you felt they would belong with a jump ring. Because without a jump ring, they're going to hang sideways anyways. So, FYI. But it might be cute when we're done to put one here. Maybe, if it is appropriate. So, here I go, putting on more beads. Okay. I don't want it to be too puffy down here and take away from the pendant. Also, I don't want to have to try to make the same exact design on the other side. So I'm just going to give it just enough to where it puffs out a little bit from the strand. Just a little smidge. Yeah. And I'm going to go in to this crystal right here. And I'm going to see if I can go into the seed beads. And to the other side, we shall see. I should be able to do that. Okay. Yep. I can. So I went into this crystal through those 3 seed beads we have in there and through this crystal. And right now I'm just checking to make sure that I am actually in those beads and not around them or anything, which I am not. So gently pulling. So I am in all 3 of these. Slowly. Ooh. Oh yeah. Uh-huh. Now we are to the other side. Now I have a plan here. So I'm going to turn this sideways. What I want to do right here is I want to make this little portion go in. I don't know if I'll go through this crystal or this crystal, but I want to make kind of like a knot of seed beads around this crystal here. We'll see if it works. So for the next portion, it might not work. I want it to be kind of like a loose pretzel that kind of, it goes around that big crystal, but we shall see. We'll see what we get. Because our wire might not want to do that. And sometimes I'm like, no, wire, you are going to cooperate. And sometimes I'm like, okay, wire, you just let me know what you want to do. Kind of depends on the day. I think I need one more bead there. This portion is a little touchy because it is right in the front, and I don't want this side to be, you know, too much more bubbled out than the other side. So I think that's good. So I'm going to go through this crystal here. By going through the bottom, because we're on the other side now. So I'm going to go through the bottom. And now what I want to do is when I add beads, I want to see if I can, I don't even know, go around like this. Okay, it might be possible if, when I put my beads on, I go around like this. I'm going to have to go through one of these beads over here to make it look like it's in a knot. you know? And then how am I going to get out of there? If I go like this, tack those down, go like this, come back around, and through the bead. Might work. Can I get through this bead that many times? Yes, I can. Okay. All right. So we're going to try that. You want to know what I like about beading? It's like if you can dream it and you can try to engineer it to make it work, you can make it happen. And I really like that. It makes me feel like, I don't know, really artsy, I guess. Really artsy and like accomplished, and I guess somewhat in control. That would be a thing, probably. Okay, so let's see. I don't want to do too much here. So I think that's enough beads. I'm going to go around and I'm going to go into this purple bead. Okay. Mr. Bunsen had to come over and inspect my beadwork, make sure I know what I'm doing here. I'm going to put on a couple more beads. So I want this to look like a loose knot, and it's going to go back through there. So that might actually be okay. I think it's good. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back through this crystal. And I checked it before we started, and we should be able to get three through here, which we can. Okay. Yeah, I like it. I'll give you guys the full effect. Mr. Bunsen, he's something else. Okay, so I'm just making sure that everything is looking okay here, which is. And now I'm thinking what I got to do. So I'm coming out of that crystal. What I want to do is I want to kind of tack this one down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure it's all where I want it to be. And then I'm actually going to take this wire and I'm going to go through one of these seed beads just to kind of tack it down. I'm just pushing this up with my nail. And I'm going to come in from the right, and I'm going to go to the left through one seed bead on this loop and slowly pull it into place. And how's that looking? Okay, I don't feel like I like that, so I'm going to take it back out of there. I feel like that kind of made it, I don't know, made it not do what I wanted it to do. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just leave that alone. I'm just going to leave that alone. So it will just be like that. You could probably wrap your wire around, maybe just in between the beads so it doesn't, so it's at least like tacked down, you know. Let me try that. I think that will work, but I got to be in the right place where I want this to be. Yeah. Okay. So I've just maneuvered it to make sure that it's laying the way I want. And then I wrapped around this string. And that's just going to kind of tack it in place and hold it where I want it to be. So it's not just loose flip-flopping all over the place. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about 3 seed beads. And I'm going to see if that's enough. It might be actually one too many. I'm going to add 2 seed beads. And then I'm going to go through this crystal right here. Maybe. Okay, so before I pull this tight, I just want to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. It looks like it is. Okay. Alright, guys. So, what I'm going to do now is I'm debating if I want to continue back up, all the way back up like where we started, or if I want to end this like down here more with another charm. Like maybe I want to end it right there. That would be cute. Well, also there's a dangly bit here, and I don't know if that's too much dangle. I think I'm going to keep going up. So, in order to do that, I am going to get some more seed beads. And can I just mention that you get quite a few seed beads in the pack. So, I'm not scared of running out at all. And this, I have a bunch over here still in the mix we made. Mr. Benson's very talkative today. He's just like, hey, Mom, hey, Mom. No, you get down. Yeah, Jake's going to come over here and get you. So now I'm going to try to go through just like we did on the other side, where we go through the rondelle, the charm, and the other rondelle. Alrighty. I was only able to get through one of the rondelles, but that's fine. So now I'm just going to add some more beads. We're almost home free. I kind of tore my wire up a little bit. So I'm going to give it a little cut. But yeah, we're almost home free now. And my next spot is, honestly, I think it's going to be in this crystal right here. And I know that's not the same as how it worked out before. I guess I could go like this. Right there into that little crystal, and then it'd kind of be the same. Let me try that. And if you didn't have a crystal here, you could always use a seed bead. As we've seen, we can get this wire through the seed beads. It takes a little bit of patience, but we can do it. And then we put on 7, because that's what we got on there. You don't have to put 7, but I'm going to put 7. 2, 3. Bunsen. 4. Actually, I'm going to put 4, and I'm going to put a crystal, so it's easier to get back through it. Hold on, I gotta have a little talk with my son here. All right. So, I did put a little crystal on there just so it's easier to get back through there. So I put on 4 and a crystal. So now I'm going to put, I better put my crimp bead on there. My crimp bead and my charm. And then I'm going to come back through the crimp bead and the crystal. Yeah, that just made it really a lot easier to go through. And I'm going to tighten it up. I don't want it to be too tight, but I want it to be, because I still want this charm to be able to like hang. So I think that's good. And we crimp. Make sure that is nice and good. Cut off this little tail here. Yeah, all right. And so I'm going to cover it with a bead cover. Mm-hmm. Hey. Awesome. You guys, I love the way it turned out. It was a little bit touch and go there for a minute, but we got her under control. I'm gonna flip you over so you can see. I'm gonna put it on a necklace form. Here we are. I'm just putting it on the necklace form. Hi. This is what we got, you guys. I like it so much. I'm gonna get you a little video and photos at the end, so please stay tuned so you can see it really in all of its glory. But I really like these a lot. The little drop charms, I thought those were a good addition. Another thing I might try for this is Jesse James and Dakota Stones just collaborated on all the chakra stones, on the chakra strands from Jesse James. And so I think I will make this with that as well, just because of the fluidity of this necklace and using the chakra stone. So I'm really excited about that. I hope I will be able to get that videoed and posted, you know. You guys, please subscribe to my channel. Please subscribe. Please ring the bell. If you ring the bell, you'll be notified every time I put up a new video. I do Jesse James bead videos once a week at least. So if you are interested in seeing these types of designs and projects, please make sure you're subscribed and please make sure that you've rung the bell. I thank you all for coming and for seeing this design and going through it with me, with your girl. I really appreciate that. So please give this video a like and a share, and I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.